The other day I was thinking about the situation the United States is in with this voting in the election. And I got to thinking, which I do a lot of. And so I imagine, what if we could come up with a system of counting the votes that we can use in elections that was 100% error proof. In other words, we have this system in place that once the results are tabulated, the accuracy is down to the single vote. You might say instinctively, there's no such thing as 100. Yeah, I get that. There's probably no such thing as 100%, but we're just doing a little thought experiment here, and I like doing those. So here are some other things to consider with this system, this imaginary system. 100% accurate. If you want to vote in this system, you will be able to vote. Nobody can vote for anybody else. I wouldn't be able to go, for instance, my buddy Jim. I wouldn't be able to go vote for him, and he wouldn't be able to go vote for me. What else? Once you vote, you can go back at any time and audit your own vote. You can say, let's see what it shows my vote, who I cast my votes for. You'd be able to look that up, cross-reference it anytime. And nobody else could. So if my wife wanted to know who I voted for, well, she'd probably be able to get it out of me, but she wouldn't be able to do it without my consent. And neither would anyone else. Neither would even people that are working as like election officials. Nobody would ever be able to know. But there would be a way, a method that you could check your own vote. Sounds like a perfect system. But let me throw in the one caveat that kind of makes it less than ideal. Suppose that this system, it was simple to use, but complex to understand how it works. So just because you go vote and you can see your vote, that doesn't mean you really understand the entire process. Kind of like starting a car. Lots of people can get in a car, put the key in, or use a key fob or whatever it is nowadays, start the car, drive away, but you have no idea how that engine is working, right? It's a good analogy, I think. But so this voting system, the 100% accurate voting system, there are going to be tons of people that are just going to basically have to take somebody's word for it that it is 100% accurate. And some people might say, well, that's not that big of a problem. We're kind of like that now. I mean, you have to take someone's word for it. Well, that's kind of my point in a way, because even with a system as ironclad as this imaginary system, you'll have people, and I'm not talking about the people that won't understand it, right? I'm talking about the people that will use the fact that people won't understand it to their advantage. And what they will do, these people, is they will come up with ways of discrediting the system. Here's one way that could be done. I have an agenda. I don't like the way the election turned out. in this imaginary scenario. And don't try to draw parallels to what's going on right now. I'm really not trying to make a point about this election in particular. But because we know who is happy with the current situation, who's not. Trump supporters are going to be very skeptical of what's going on right now. And that honestly is not my point. So in this imaginary scenario, let's say this is the 2032 election or something. The results are out, and I'm a guy that is for Party A, but Party B is declared the winner. So what I'll do is I'll find a couple people and have them give statements like, well, I did an audit on my vote and it said I voted for party, I forgot which one I said lost. It says I voted for Party A, but I voted for Party B. See, the problem is people lie. And they, for whatever reason, this group of people gives this guy some money to come out and cast some doubt on this system. That kind of stuff can happen no matter what kind of system we have in place. You could put all sorts of countermeasures in and spend all kinds of money on studies and this and that, but when it really comes down to it, people lie. And so it's never going to be something that is 100% believable. And I thought about that, and I thought, but I'm usually an optimist when it comes to just about anything. I try to be as optimistic as I can. And I don't know if this is pessimism or if it's just grounded in reality, because it's just accepting the reality, I believe. I don't think I'm being pessimistic when I give an honest assessment of something that I believe, this is how I believe it would play out. So there are other things too, and I believe that it's going to get crazier as we go on. With I just watched this deep fake thing this morning, right? I've seen these deep fake videos, and there's something about them that right now that you can kind of look at it and you can go, yeah, there's something a little off. If you don't know what this is, it's like somebody could make a video and make it look like I'm talking. This is actually me, but I don't think anybody's gonna deep fake me. But that kind of stuff's gonna be out there, and the waters are going to get muddier and muddier before they go the other way. And I think this, I think a lot about social media and how it affects how it affects our lives. And I believe that part of the reason why this perfect voting system that I can come up with would not be so widely accepted is because of social media. I think that crap gets spread around on social media. Clickbait. People make a living off of making YouTube videos. So, it's in these people's interest to get people to watch your videos. So you're going to come up with some sensational freaking crap to get people to pay attention to you if you have this sort of business. Selling a book. I mean, a couple months ago when this pandemic video thing came out, that was comical to me. I mean, watching this woman explain some things on there, and then, this movie's going to be coming out. People jumped on that so quickly. It's like there's a video of There's a video of a pelican in a park that I should play this, but you can find it on YouTube. This pelican is just walking around, and there's a pigeon on the ground, and that pelican just snatches that pigeon up and throws it in its mouth and just freaking eats that pigeon. To me, that's what people do with these conspiracies. They just take the thing and they eat the freaking thing whole, right? Without ever processing the information. I did my own research. I hear people say that they did their own research. You know what the research is? The research is going somewhere where somebody's going to tell them what the frick they want to hear and believe in that shit, even though it's dumbest crap I've ever seen in my life. That's not research, right? You can't. It's really hard to do your own research unless you're interviewing people yourself. You're just believing other people's nonsense, and I think that's what we have today. And people are very resistant to someone pointing out the flaws in some of these things, right? I think that because of social media and because people are, one, very susceptible to their own biases and they want them confirmed. That's one reason why a lot of these things work. The other thing is people want to feel like they have special knowledge and special information. They can see things that other people can't. I know that's me. I mean, but I really think that I'm able to look at things and go, well, there's probably more to this, even though it might be something that lends itself to, what I want to believe. Because I think people are way more likely to believe something to be true if they want it to be true. And that's pretty clear when it comes to social media. So now here's another problem that's happening. And I know this is kind of rambling or whatever, but I see people claiming to leave social media, like Facebook, the Twitter, the big ones for these Parler and MeWe. Come on, man. You can't come up with a better name than MeWe? I don't know. That sounds pretty dumb to me. I actually opened up a Parler account back in June. I thought it was earlier than that, but it's not. I never go there. I don't follow anybody. I just wanted to see the platform, and I might, who knows. Most of my social media time is spent on Twitter. I read things on Twitter. There's stories, there's news, and I hate with a passion the way that these companies try to control information flow through censorship or through tagging with the fact checking and all that. But see, how many times have I been fact checked on Facebook? 0 times, right? 0 times. And why is that? People get mad about being, they don't remove your post necessarily. I mean, I guess some people do, but people get mad of just the little fact check that PolitiFact or whatever these third-party organizations that Facebook has hired out. They put that little thing on there, and I know I've heard, well, who made them fact checker, in chief or whatever. Well, I don't care about that kind of stuff because they're not fact checking the people that are complaining's posts. They're fact checking the posts that they are sharing. I've not seen one person, and it could be, I just haven't seen it. Not one of my friends has made an original content post, like wrote it themselves and had Facebook fact check it. I've never seen it happen. It's always something that they've shared, and then it gets that little overlay, see why this is false. And then the thing about fact checking they're not the arbiters of truth. They're just looking at information. So you get to go in as a user and see what they're saying about this thing, right? And most of the time that I've done it, it makes sense to me, right? So I don't have a problem with it. And I know it's biased to the left. I mean, I think that's pretty, I think most honest people would admit that it's a little biased to the left. Like, but I think that's because maybe I feel that way because most of the friends that I have are, I guess, maybe more to the right. I don't know. I have a lot of military friends, and they tend to be more right of center than left of center. Not exclusively and not as much as you would think, but I think it kind of falls out that way. But anyway, I'm rambling on now, and the whole fact-checking business. I mean, somebody's account gets suspended. I think I see people now on Facebook are doing it to get suspended. Like they have some sort of freaking street cred now that I got put in Facebook jail, and they got to make sure everyone knows about it, because that's kind of a currency right now too, right? I don't know, man. I'm not going to play that. I posted, I don't know how many posts I've made. Most of my crap's just trying to get a laugh, but I'm pretty sure if I wanted to, I could lay out all kinds of information in politics, and I wouldn't get fact checked because it's my stuff. So take that for what it is. But I got way off topic from what I started with, and I just think that this whole 100% proof is kind of a cool thing to think about, because I know that it would still get it would still get all kinds of doubts cast upon it in this age. And with I guess that was one of the other points I was going with all these people leaving the main, like Facebook and Twitter and going to these other things. What that's really doing is it's just kind of separating people even more. I don't want to be in an echo chamber. I don't want to go somewhere where this is the conservative one or this is the liberal one, or because I don't look for one of those things or the other. And if you think it's going to be fair, well, it's probably not going to be fair no matter what happens. Things are not fair. And the media, if you look at it and you think we need to figure out some way to make this just, and your answer is to get the government involved in it, to somehow regulate these big media giants, you're opening up, that would be opening up a can of freaking worms that I just don't want to ever see opened. It would ruin it. It would ruin everything, guaranteed. It's not a utopia right now, but I think that there will be ways that we just can't think about right now. And if people start getting, sick of social media, watch The Social Dilemma. And I think it's a little sensationalized, but it talks a little bit about, why we're clicking on things and how this was all, it talks to the guy that actually made the like button, the like icon or whatever, and goes through a lot of the history. And I look at it and I go, yeah, that anything that's done as a documentary, it's kind of sensationalized to a degree, but I think we'll come out on the other end okay. So I'm going to stop rambling now. I just wanted to make this video during my coffee before I go running, and that's something to think about. Give me some feedback. What do you think? Where am I wrong? That's what I want to know.